Okay, let's go over the answers to the ionic compounds worksheet, where you are supposed to name the ionic compounds. The first one says Na2S. So the Na is sodium, so we just keep that as the name sodium. And the second one, the element is sulfur, which we don't end it in we change it to "ide" because it came from the periodic table. So that one's name, letter A, is sodium sulfide. Second one, Li2O. The first element is lithium, so the first part of the name is lithium. The second one is oxygen, but we end it in "ide." So the name becomes lithium oxide. Lithium oxide. Third one, MgBr2. First element's magnesium. The second one is bromine from the periodic table. So it's periodic table, so it's going to end in "ide." So the name is magnesium bromide. Magnesium bromide. Letter D, Aln. First element is aluminum. Second one is nitrogen from the periodic table, so it's going to end in "ide." So the name becomes aluminum nitride. Aluminum nitride. Letter E, CaF2. First element is calcium. Second element is fluorine from the periodic table. So it's from the periodic table, so we end it in "ide." So the name is calcium fluoride. Calcium fluoride. Letter F, Ki. First element is potassium. Second one is iodine from the periodic table, so we change it to "ide." So its name is potassium iodide. Potassium iodide. Letter G. Oh, this one changes. We got MgSO4. There's three different elements in this one. There's Mg, there's S, and there's O. So that means something's got to come from that chart. It looks kind of like this. It's printed out. It's on the Canvas page. So first element is magnesium. So that's going to be the first part. And then the second part we look at, if you look at on there, it's going to be in the center here, it's going to be sulfate. Okay? So SO4 is sulfate. We just leave that exactly like it is. We don't change it. All right, so the name is going to be magnesium sulfate, ending in ATE, sulfate. All right, letter H. Oh, we got another one that's got three different elements. It's got Ca, it's got Cl, and it's got O. So it's got calcium, chlorine, and oxygen. So something's coming from that polyatomic ion chart, page 147 that I call it. Well, the first element's calcium. Second one, ClO. Now, I know it's in parentheses two times. We're only looking at what's in the parentheses, the ClO. And we looked that up. The name is hypochlorite. So the name of this is calcium hypochlorite. Calcium hypochlorite. Last one for naming, BaNO2, 2. This one again has three different elements. We got Ba, N, and O. Something comes from the polyatomic ion chart. So we got the NO2 comes from it, and its name is nitrite. So we name this, the first one is barium, and then the second part's nitrite. So the name of this is barium nitrite, ending in ITE from that polyatomic ion chart. All right, that's first half of this. Second half, we got to write the formulas. So I'm going to do those behind me on the board. So first one, we got manganese, which that's Mn. It says it's got Roman numeral 2, so that means it's +2. And we got chloride, because it ends in "ide, it's the element chlorine, which happens to be a -1. Now, those two charges don't cancel each other, so we're going to crisscross it. So we're going to bring 2 over here, and the 1 goes there. We leave the 1 blank. So the formula for this is MnCl2. Second one, we got iron. And it's got Roman numeral 2, so again, this one's +2. And then we got bromide. Bromide means it's bromine from the periodic table. And that guy's got a -1. Those guys don't cancel each other, so we're going to crisscross it. So I'm going to bring the 2 over here. We get FeBr2. Now the 1 would go over here, but again, remember I leave that blank. All right, let me erase those, and we'll do the next 2. Letter C, tin, 4. Tin is Sn, and the 4 means he's a +4. And then we have chlorate. Chlorate is, it ends in 8 instead of "ide." If it was "ide," it would be from the periodic table, but it ends in 8, so we have to look at that chart. Okay? So you go to that chart, and it's ClO3. I'm going to put that in parentheses just so you can see that that's from page 147. Its charge is a -1. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I got looking at two different ones, ain't I? Man, if you guys were in class, you would have pointed out I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry. We got tin for chloride. Excuse me on that. I jumped down to letter D. Chloride. So we got Cl. All right, ends in ide. And because it ends in ide, it's just the element chlorine. So now we got to crisscross those two charges, those numbers. So we're going to put the 4 here, the 1 goes there, leave it blank. So we get SnCl4. That was tin chloride. Now let's do the chlorate. So we have copper, Cu, we get the Roman numeral 2, so he's a +2. Then we have chlorate, ClO3. I'll put it in parentheses, and that's a -1. I'm only again putting it in parentheses so you can see that it's from page 147 because it ends in 8. Now my charges don't cancel, so I got to crisscross them. The 2 is going to go here, the 1 is going to go there. So we end up with Cu, and then we have ClO3 in parentheses 2 times. And you do have to have those parentheses saying that everything that's in there is twice. All right, I'll erase these, and then we'll go on to letter E. All right, letter E, iron 3 nitrate. So iron, it's a 3, so it's +3. And then we have nitrate, because it's 8, it's page 147, the polyatomic ion, and that's NO3. I'll put it in parentheses again, just for the fun of it. And that's a -1 from that chart. Those charges don't cancel, crisscross the numbers. 3 goes here, 1 goes there, so we get FeNO3 3 times. Make that look like a 3. All right. Next one, sodium nitride. Sodium is Na. That's a +1. Now it's not nitrate. This time it's nitride. Ends in ide, so it's the element nitrogen from the periodic table. And he's a -3. Those charges don't cancel each other. Crisscross it. The 3 comes here. The 1 goes there. So we get Na3N. Notice the difference between nitrate and nitride. Nitride is just the element nitrogen. Now we got 3 left. So magnesium sulfide, magnesium Mg from the periodic table, he's a +2. Then we got sulfide, that's the element sulfur. So we put sulfur, he's a -2. Now do those cancel each other? Yes, they do. So we're just going to leave it the way it is, Mgs. And that would be its lowest ratio. Now if you did crisscross it, you'd end up with this, Mg2S. And I would tell you, you need to reduce it because they can both be reduced by dividing by 1 or divided by 2, and you'd end up with a 1-to-1 ratio of Mgs. All right, last 2. I'm going to erase this one so I can put these 2 together. So we got cobalt phosphide. Cobalt, Ca, that's calcium. How about Co? Cobalt, and that's a +2 from the periodic table. Then we got phosphide, because it ends in ide, it's phosphorus, and he's a -3. So now we got to crisscross these. We're going to bring the 2 over here, the 3 over there, and we get CO3P2. Now we got cobalt phosphate. So it's still cobalt. He's a +2, but now it's phosphate. So we got to go to that polyatomic ion chart. You got to go to this thing. Okay? And when you go to that, you're going to get PO4. And he's a -3. So now we got to crisscross these, or let's put this thing in parentheses. So we're going to go 3 here and a 2 there. The 2 comes here, the 3 goes there, and we get that as our formula. And notice again the difference. This is cobalt phosphide, just the element phosphorus by itself. This is cobalt phosphate. Phosphate came from page 147. All right, well that concludes this worksheet. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.